What's really cool about Birmingham is that you get the city life and then you get the outdoorsy life too.
It's a great geographic location too. You know, you can be anywhere from Nashville to the beach in a matter of just a few hours. It's just a great growing city.
I think Birmingham's a great city. It's got a lot of new stuff happening, a lot of new things going on. So there's a lot of new restaurants, breweries, places to hang out. It's got a lot of the amenities of some bigger cities without the size of that city. So you can drive across Birmingham and it's worse traffic in less than an hour.
When I'm not at work, I definitely like being outside. So there's plenty of things to do outside. I like catching a baseball game. Birmingham Barons, they've got a great stadium downtown. And there's several breweries around that area that you can go to afterwards.
Well, I like to eat, and there are several good restaurants in Birmingham. A lot of holes in the wall with comfort food, and then a lot of fancy places, plenty of vegan and vegetarian options.
So there was actually a new Topgolf that was recently opened, so I get to go there sometimes when I'm off on the weekends.
We have a puppy, so we love to be outdoors at Red Mountain State Park. That's one of our favorite. They have like really good dog trails and parks and lots of dog-friendly restaurants too.
Birmingham is kind of the cultural center of Alabama, so anything arts, whatever that's coming through the southeast is going to stop in Birmingham. You know, when I tell people I'm from Birmingham, they ask me all these questions like, what should I do and where should I go? But Birmingham has changed so much that you just kind of have to explore it on your own because things keep on changing constantly here.
Well, I think the unique thing is we get to work at two different hospitals and see different type of patient population. So I think it's a good mix of pathology between the two different hospitals, and I think that that gives us a lot of like good training in both aspects.
I think it is unusual that you have two campuses here. So it's nice to get that change of scenery when you've been at Princeton for a few months to go over to Grandview for a little while. It just gives you a break.
It's a very good didactic program. We have a lot of lectures, we have tumor boards, and we have a lot of specialists coming in and speaking about different aspects. If a nephrology case comes up, the attendings are willing to come by. The nephrologists come by and teach us what exactly is going on with the patient officially.
I like this program, I would say, first of all, because of the diversity. So you have a lot of diversity, not just in terms of the race. You know, you have different people from different parts of the world, but also in terms of the kind of medical education you got. Lots of MD residents, lots of DO residents. So it's a good mixture.
Princeton and Grandview and this residency program as a whole really does a great job of combining the best of both. You have a great relationship and on a first-name basis with a lot of the attending physicians, a lot of the subspecialists, as well as the other residents. But then in the meantime, you've also got the draw of an inner-city urban hospital that can have that diverse patient population.
Yeah, and I think for our careers, I mean, being flexible is really important. You don't know where you're going to get a job when you get out. So having two different hospital systems, seeing how they do things differently. A glaring example is that they use different EMRs. And so we have to be kind of competent in both different electronic medical records. And I think that gives us a leg up on people who go to other programs where they're only familiar with one.
Because there aren't any fellows, we get to do a lot of our own procedures. Nobody's fighting at procedures, and we have these simulation labs. I remember when I was practicing for a lumbar puncture, I could just walk down the hall and practice in the simulation lab before I went in and actually did it on a patient.
We have a lot of bread and butter cases at both hospitals, but we also have several rare cases that we'll see that you learn about in medical school and you think you're not going to see out in practice, but we actually do see several of those.
I mean, the variety of cases that we see, I think I'm very confident after I graduate from the program, I will never be scared about seeing or, taking care of a patient.
Coming from an upper level perspective now, we have a lot of autonomy on our inpatient upper level months. You're basically almost like the attending. You make really big choices, and I think that's a very unique thing in a program.
I think one of the other things that's unique about our program is even though we're fairly large for a community program with the surgery residents, the radiology residency, the pathology residency, there's a real camaraderie here. Even among the internal medicine residents, nobody's jockeying for position or trying to prove themselves better than somebody else, and I think that's unique in residency programs. So
I trained in the community setting, so things like being one-on-one with your attending, being able to text them or call them for a new consult, having the first shot at procedure, that's normal here.
Actually, community setting is great. It's just that after graduation, you exactly know what you're getting into.
You get to spend more time during rounds and after rounds with your attendants. You get to ask questions. Even being an intern, you can ask questions from the attendants directly.
When I was an intern, they were really helpful. For example, if I had to do a procedure, they would stand there next to me and show each step and kind of guide me through the whole procedure when I was scared. Now that has become my duty, and I do the same thing for people that work with me now.
And I'm from Nigeria originally, so the medical training there is actually very different. And I think over here you get more autonomous training. So you're able to like put in orders on patients. You're able to talk with the attendants one-on-one even before they see the patient themselves. So I feel like you have more autonomy on patient care, and that kind of helps you gain some confidence rather than just being told what to do at every time.
Even being in a community program, it's not that hard to get into fellowships. For example, last year, 3 of our residents matched into cardiology, 1 into hem-onc, 1 in nephrology, and 1 in rheumatology. That's over half of our class.
I see ICU patients literally every day on every service, and that really makes you comfortable managing things like vent settings, managing septic and acutely ill patients, and prepares you like no other.
Everybody wants to see you do well. If that comes to faculty, it comes to the co-residents, the friends that you develop when you're in this residency program, and it's just helped me be a better doctor. So very grateful for that. Hey guys, welcome to the Princeton's Doctor's Lounge. This is where we will hang out between rounds, where we eat primarily. In the mornings we have breakfast, which is served from about 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. And in the afternoons we'll have lunch from 11:30 to 1. And there's always a plenty of variety of food. There's a salad bar, there's meats. Outside of those times, we also have other food available like sandwiches, salads, juices, yogurts, that type of stuff. And all of the food in here is actually free for us, so it's really great. You don't have to bring your own lunch. And we'll oftentimes sit at these tables for lunch, like after rounds as a team, and eat lunch, and it's fun. And then you can see we have plenty of computers for everybody. So in downtimes, people like to go on the computers, check on their patients, write notes, that type of stuff. On certain rotations, these are the computers you go to before rounds, like our hospitalist rotation. Welcome to the Princeton Library. This is a great, quiet place to come to read, to study, to do more research. We have couches here and books that we can access, as well as journal articles. We have just another computer area where you can come and write patient notes, look up patients, or just go online and study and things like that. Here in the library, we have about 1,000 journals printed and online. We have about 1,600 printed books and 3,000 ebooks. So a lot of resources to look through. In addition, we have our wonderful librarians who are always very friendly and willing to help out. They are a great help in doing literature searches, whether it be for the research week that we have every year, or a research project that you have on your own, or on a daily basis if you just want to know more about a topic concerning your patient or your area of interest. So overall, this is just a great place to continue to enhance our medical knowledge. Welcome to the Princeton's conference room. This is where we have our morning report and noon conferences. Grandview has its own conference room, but all of our noon lectures are teleconferenced over to Grandview, so you can see in the background is this screenshot of Grandview, and vice versa depending on who's giving a lecture at which hospital. The morning reports, however, are done separately. So Princeton has its own morning report, and we use the board here in the background. And at Grandview, they have their own board where we write the patient case and discuss differential diagnosis, things like that. And for the conferences that we have here, we have our noon conferences, which are generally didactic. We pull in a lot of different attendings. Sometimes we'll have people from the outside, like business and medicine, hospice. Food is sometimes provided, and when it's not, you can always bring your lunch here and eat during conference. That's what we generally do. And another big thing that we do in here is our Code Blue conferences, where we bring in the ICU attendings, the PAs, the nurses, a lot of different faculty of the hospital to run a Code Blue simulation so that we get better and more comfortable during those types of situations. Hey guys, welcome to Med Ed. This is basically our resident area since only residents have access to this area. Usually this is the first place we come to in the morning, drop our stuff off. If you're on staff medicine, there's a computer area here, and so you'll go to that computer area and look up patients, write your notes, stuff like that between rounds. And that computer area is generally dedicated to our inpatient staff team members during whatever time period that may be, but everybody has access to the computers during the day while they're rounding. As you can see, this is our kitchen area where we have access to lots of drinks, foods in the fridge, our candy closet behind me, and don't worry, we have another candy closet at Grandview as well, so there's always food and drinks available. We are very well nourished. This is pretty much a place where you can unwind, talk to other residents, study. We have couches, we have a TV. If you're on call, there are call rooms available. There's one for the upper level resident, there's one for the intern as well, and there's a phone beside the bed so that if you get a page in the middle of the night, you don't have to walk up to any kind of phone or another different area. So it's just overall a great hangout place and one of my favorite places to come during the day.